He is a brilliant scientist on a mission. It is an ancient monolith that stole his girl. And now, the battle royale you have been waiting months for. Fitz versus Monolith. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 2. Purpose in the Machine. Ugh. Alright, this episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of goes in three primary directions. There's three focuses of stories tonight. One is Ward and his buildup of Hydra. Two is what has happened to May since the end of last season and she disappeared off with her ex-husband on vacation. And third, of course, is Fitz's pursuit of Jenna and research into the Monolith. Now with Ward, Ward's trying to rebuild Hydra, and he's doing it in less of a bureaucratic, large mass that it was in before, and into much more of a tight army of focus killers. He's basically building an army of Rumlows, which is terrifying to say the least. But an evil Ward is an interesting Ward. He is focused, he is funny, he does not have the same second guessing that his previous establishments of character did. He is now firmly in charge and firmly knows what he wants to do. And again, he is looking to build Hydra with people that are purposeful, people that are directed, people that will do what is necessary. And his first real target is Baron von Strucker's son. Now, Joseph Strucker is hasn't really been involved in Hydra. Apparently, von Strucker has sort of protected him. So he's not really aware of the whole Hydra thing. He hasn't really been exposed to it. Ward is going to change that. He was more than happy to torture this guy to get all of his banking and research information. Ward's looking for resources, and he will do whatever he has to do in order to get them. He will sacrifice who he has to, including one of his men who was torturing Junior von Strucker for information and had the tables turned and had himself beaten down. Ward is certainly willing to sacrifice anyone that he needs to in order to get where he needs to go. A great line of advice, by the way. Don't tell someone you're going to kill them. Just kill them. This is what I like about the new Ward. He really is. He's just focused, he's purposeful, and he doesn't have the extraneous character stuff that really kind of slows things down. This makes him a lot more interesting. And one of the reasons why the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really want to take him down. Hunter is determined to kill Ward. There is no more capture, there is no more prisoners. They're out to X Ward out. That is Hunter's purpose for what he did to Bobby. Bobby would love to go on the trip with him, but she's still recovering. And Coulson is all about it. As Hunter leaves, he just gives him the thumbs up, go get it done. A little different Coulson from what he was a couple of seasons ago when he was first established. He is much more focused himself. He is doing what needs to be done, and he's not making excuses for it. Now for Hunter, he needs help. He can't use anybody that's back at the base. He wants May. May, of course, wants a certain payback for Ward herself. But May has been missing in action since the end of last season. And apparently things are not exactly the way that we thought they might have been. Yes, she did go to Hawaii with Andrew for a little while, but apparently things did not entirely work out. And she has basically returned home. She is currently caring for her dad in some sort of escapist manner. What we do find out is apparently he was involved in a hit and run. He was injured, but they never caught the other driver. This pressed May's paranoia buttons, and she is there with a gun and a knife and ready to take out anyone who shows up. Which luckily does not include Hunter, though that was very close when he just popped up out of nowhere to try and get her to come in. She doesn't want to have anything to do with it, but a nice conversation with her father, played brilliantly by Mr. James Hong, who is always awesome to see anytime he shows up. And I am probably not the only one quipping Big Trouble in Little China jokes while he was on screen. Just always a joy to see him. Anyway, a quick conversation with him where he really points out who she is, what she needs to do. She accepts that, and by episode's end, she is with Hunter, and they are going after it. They are on their pursuit, weapons lined out on the table, ready to find Ward and end him. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's get to the good stuff. Fitz versus Monolith. The episode, of course, really takes off and starts right where the last one ended, with Fitz yelling and screaming and pouring his soul and frustrations out on the Monolith. In the exact room where he's not supposed to be, scares the hell out of everybody who has to run in and pull him out. And they do manage to get the door closed before it liquefies and does its reform format. So really a good time to do it. But in the midst of this, Fitz finds sand. Now the Monolith's being held in a clean room, which means there is nothing in there. Everything has been wiped out. So the discovery of sand means it came from somewhere. This proves to Fitz that it's a portal. And it's not just sand, it's like billions-year-old sand. Quick science aside, carbon dating doesn't work that far. It can do some millions of years and stuff, but if you're going to billions, you need an entirely different dating process. That aside, it does prove to the rest of the group that this is in fact a portal, and this re-energizes everyone to find Simmons. But how do you know more? How do you research a portal to a different part of the galaxy or the universe? Who knows how far it goes? It's been around for thousands of years. Who does that you talk to about that? Maybe an Asgardian trapped on Earth. The return of Peter McNichol's character from the first season is awesome. He's a great character to see, very funny. The moment he's hiding out in jail trying to avoid the government's search for non-humans, smart choice. But eventually he agrees to go and track this thing down on the condition that the portal is destroyed at the end of the search for Jenna, which Coulson is fine with. Kind of an unnecessary, let's pull the jail door off because we're so strong and we're an Asgardian move. Coulson could have done another phone call. They get 5 feet before the guards come down, and you've got to sort of talk his way out of that anyway, or flash his badge, or whatever its contacts are in order to get him out. Kind of an unnecessary move, but still fun. Eventually, this of course leads to the castle in England, which is a great return to kind of an old style technology. I loved the steampunk sort of feel of it. And it also thinks that at this point, S.H.I.E.L.D. is really delving in and accepting its comic book roots. It was trying a little bit more of a realistic approach in the first season or two. Now it is really diving in, finding the old lab with the old steampunk technology, and that Skye has to use her powers in order to energize it. That is straight out of comic pages and really just is an embrace of the feel of the style that I think we all really want it to continue to do. So they get the portal working, they fire off a flare, they are trying to drop a camera in so they can see that. Fitz will have nothing of it. He grabs the line and just dives in himself. He is going to find Jenna. And surprisingly, he does, and he has managed to pull her out. This is just an incredible moment for the two characters, really a summation of where they are going. And Jenna's last shot, just curling up with Fitz at the end, is a really nice moment for where we're going. However, she's apparently had a really tough journey, as we sort of implied at the end of last season when we saw the brief shot of her on the alien planet running from something. She's gonna be dealing with a little bit of PTSD. She's got a little post-traumatic stress disorder going on. She wakes with a knife right to the camera. I don't know where she got that. I don't think she was carrying around the rusty blade with her, so I'm kind of curious, but the image is still there and still sort of lays thing on. She has had a journey, she is changed, and she is definitely willing to just grab onto Fitz and hold on to him, much to his joy. Where this goes, where we get to find the story of what happened, that's what's going to be coming up. Few nice little moments in here. Andrew's use of the term secret warriors to Coulson. Nice Easter egg, nice little reference. Good to know that Coulson's still good with secret doors. That was implied sort of last year, first year. And still to this point, even without an arm, he's good at finding the secret door buttons. Anyway, so I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I. Really looking forward to the continuing to just build expectation for the rest of the season. They have hit the ground running. They are doing an incredible job of characters, action, drive. There's no sleepy part of the episode at all. Everything just continues to go forward, and that's what is engaging all of us the most, I think. And we're going to see what's going to happen next week. Comment in the sections below. Hit like if you enjoyed what I have to say. Feel free to subscribe and hit me up on Twitter at Darren Jakes. I'm D, and I'm going to see you guys next week. Take it easy.